You can start this business for £3,000. This weekend, a hoover, a bucket, a few sprays and a car. No premises, no fit out, no chef, no fryer. It is by a huge margin the cheapest real business in Britain to start. And exactly that is the trap. Because when you start a cleaning company for £3,000, you haven't bought a business. You've bought yourself a minimum wage job with a mop, a bad back, and a ceiling. Tonight, we cost the whole thing: domestic, end of tenancy, offices, jet washing, and the after builders cleans on brand new flats. From the first £100 to £100,000 year. And the one pivot that turns a knackering job into a business you can actually sell. No fluff, just numbers. No fluff, no sugar, just the sheet. This is the naked business. 1. The premise. The cheapest business, the hardest trap. Though cleaning is the most accessible business in this whole series, no license to trade, no planning permission, no expensive premises. Anyone can start on Monday, and that is precisely why it's so misunderstood. Here's the truth: nobody selling you a cleaning course will say out loud, the low barrier isn't an advantage, it's the whole problem. Because if anyone can start, everyone does, and most of them end up doing exactly the same thing, cleaning themselves forever, 40 hours a week, for what works out as a wage. They didn't build a business, they built a job that they can never take a day off from. So this episode is really about one line, the line between the people who stay the cleaner and the people who stop cleaning and start booking. We're going to build a proper multi-service cleaning company on 5 income streams and follow it from day 1 to the end of year 3. And the whole story is the pivot, how you get off the mop. Money out in red, money in green. By the end, you'll see the startup cost, which is tiny, the profit and loss for year 1, 2, and 3, and the honest answer to whether this is a job or a business. Let's build it. 2, the 5 service lines. One trick cleaning company is fragile. So we build 5 streams, each with different economics. Some are steady bread and butter, some are high margin one-offs, and one is the quiet engine that makes the whole thing stable. 1. Domestic, regular home cleaning, weekly or fortnightly house cleans. This is your bread and butter, recurring, predictable, and easy to start. But it's the lowest value work, the most price sensitive, and the first thing a customer cancels when money's tight. 2. End of tenancy, before and after tenancy. The deep clean when a tenant moves out, to letting agent standards so they get their deposit back. High value one-offs, a 2-bed flat is £220 to £260, and demand is relentless because deposit disputes over cleaning are the single most common reason tenants lose their money. 3. Commercial and industrial, offices, units, contracts. Offices, shops, industrial units, cleaned on a recurring contract, daily or a few times a week, usually early morning or evening. Lower margin per hour, but it is contracted, predictable, and it doesn't cancel on a whim. This is the stabilizer. This is the one that lets you sleep. 4. Jet washing, pressure washing, exterior and interior. Driveways, patios, the front and back of the house, forecourts, industrial floors. High margin because the machine does the work, not a person. A driveway is £150 to £350 for a few hours. Seasonal, spring and summer heavy, but brilliant money when the sun's out. 5. After builders, post-construction sparkle cleans. The final clean on a brand new or just renovated property before handover. Plaster dust, paint splash, stickers off the windows, everything polished to showroom. Priced per job, and the gold here is the client. Get in with one developer or builder finishing a block of flats, and you've got a pipeline of repeat work, unit after unit, 5 streams, 1 van, 1 team, 1 set of insurance. When domestic goes quiet in a recession, commercial contracts hold. When winter kills the jet washing, the afterbuilders work carries on indoors. That spread is what keeps you alive. 3. Unit economics. Charge versus pay, the whole game. This is the most important section in the episode, so slow down with me. In cleaning, there are only 3 numbers that matter: what you charge the client, what you pay the cleaner, and what's left. What's left is the entire business. Take a regular domestic clean. You charge the client £20 an hour. You pay the cleaner 13. Consumables, spray, cloths, bin bags cost you about £1 an hour. So out of that 20, you keep £6, a 30% margin, £6 an hour. Now hold that thought, because here is the trick the whole industry runs on. When you do the cleaning yourself, you keep the whole £20 an hour. Feels great, but you are physically capped. There are only so many hours in your week. 40 billable hours is about the ceiling, and that's a wage. But when you pay a cleaner 13 and keep 6, you can have 8 cleaners working at the same time. 8 people, each earning you £6 an hour, while you're not holding a mop at all. Small margin times many cleaners is the business. You times 1 mop is a job. £6 an hour sounds like nothing. 8 cleaners, 40 hours is £1,900 a week of margin off other people's hands. That is the entire game. The wealth isn't in the cleaning, it's in the roster, the premium lines VO. And the margins get better when the work is skilled or the machine does it. An end of tenancy 2-bed at £240, 2 cleaners, 5 hours, costs you about £145 in labour and materials. You keep 95, nearly 40%. A driveway jet wash at £250, 1 person, a few hours, machine doing the heavy lifting, costs you maybe 110, you keep 140, 56%. An afterbuilder's flat at 280, you keep around 100. The hourly domestic work fills the diary. The skilled and machine work is where the real margin lives. So you price those per job, never by the hour. 4. The UK cleaning market 2026. The UK cleaning industry is worth well over £50 billion a year and employs around 1 million people. It is one of the biggest, most fragmented industries in the country. Most of it is tiny operators, sole traders, and small teams. There is no dominant brand on your street, which means there's endless room for a well-run local company. The demand is structural and it isn't going away. Rental churn means constant end-of-tenancy work. A wave of new build flats means constant after-builders work. Every office, gym, clinic, and shop needs cleaning on contract forever. And busy households increasingly pay someone else to clean. Cleaning is boringly, beautifully recession-resistant. Offices still need cleaning in a downturn, and landlords still need deposits protected. The opportunity near zero startup, no premises, recurring revenue if you chase contracts, cash generative once you're rolling, genuinely scalable because you grow by adding people, not by building expensive kitchens. And it's a real asset. A cleaning company with contracts can be sold. The risk and the honest half. The low barrier means brutal price competition, especially on domestic. There's always someone cheaper and worse. It is deeply labor intensive. Your costs are people, and people are hard. Staff turnover is savage. Cleaners come and go, and a cleaner who doesn't turn up is a client you lose that day. Commercial clients pay slowly on 30 to 60-day terms, while you pay staff weekly. That gap sinks the unwary, and the biggest risk of all is the one in the mirror. staying the cleaner forever. Hold that list. Every number that follows lives inside it. 5. Step 1. Company, insurance, and compliance. The legal base here is light and cheap. Another reason the barrier is so low. Register a limited company at Companies House, £100 as of February 2026, with director ID verification. Why limited, not sole trader? Because you'll have staff in other people's homes and offices, holding keys near expensive things, and you want that liability sitting with the company, not your house. A business bank account, free to about £10 a month. An accountant at £60 to £150 a month for VAT, payroll, and year end. Then the non-negotiable insurance, public liability at least £2 million, and most commercial clients will demand 5. This covers you when a cleaner floods a bathroom, scratches a hardwood floor, or a client slips on a wet surface. For a small operation that's £100 to £300 a year, astonishingly cheap for what it protects. The moment you hire even one person, employer's liability insurance is a legal requirement. Full stop. Add treatment and equipment cover for your machines. Budget around £300 in year 1, rising with the team. Compliance is light but real. Register as an employer for payroll and pensions. Right to work checks on every hire. You are sending people into homes and secure buildings. DBS background checks because clients, especially anyone with children or vulnerable people, will ask, and it's a selling point. CHAPTERS, you handle cleaning chemicals, so you keep the safety data sheets and train your staff. And key holding and GDPR, you hold keys, alarm codes, and client details, and you're responsible for all of it. And one honest note, the courses skip. VAT, cleaning services are standard rated, and this business sails past the £90,000 turnover threshold somewhere in year 2. Once you register, you're charging 20%, invisible to commercial clients who reclaim it, but a real 20% price jump to domestic customers who can't. It's a genuine growing pain. And to keep this episode comparable with the rest of the series, the figures you're about to see are shown before VAT. Model it early with your accountant, because for a domestic heavy book, it changes your pricing. Step 2, the kit. Here's the beautiful part and the dangerous part. You need almost nothing to start, which tempts people to overspend on kit they don't need yet. Buy only what earns. Domestic and end of tenancy kit. 2 commercial vacuums. 1, a good wet and dry for the deep cleanse. Mop systems and buckets, color coded to keep bathrooms and kitchens separate. Caddies of professional chemicals. Degreaser, lime scale remover, sanitizer, glass, oven cleaner. A stack of microfiber cloths, scrapers, a steamer for baked on grime, a telescopic set for high glass and interior windows. Call it £900 to kit out a 2-person team properly. Jet washing kit, proper petrol pressure washer, not a hobby one from a DIY shed, with a rotary surface cleaner attachment that does a driveway in a fraction of the time, plus hoses, lances, and a water tank or bowser if the site has no tap. £1,200, and it pays for itself in a handful of jobs at 50+% margin. After builders kit foil. Post-construction is dusty heavy work, so you need an industrial wet and dry vacuum with fine dust filters, ladders and steps, window scrapers and blades for paint and plaster, and heavier consumables. Around £800. This kit doubles for the toughest end of tenancy jobs too. Add uniforms and ID badges, because a branded badged cleaner on a doorstep is the difference between a booking and a nervous no thanks plus a first aid kit and COSHH storage, £200. And crucially, you do not need every machine on day one. Start with the domestic kit and the pressure washer, and buy the after builder's gear when you land the first developer job. 7. Step 3, the van. You can start from a car, plenty do, doing domestic only, but the moment you add jet washing and after builders work, you need a van because you're hauling a pressure washer, water, ladders and industrial vacuums across town all day. Decent used small van, 3 to 5 years old, well looked after, is around £6,000. Then a sign written wrap, £500 to £700, and this is not vanity, it's marketing. A branded van parked outside a job is a rolling advert in exactly the neighborhood you want to work in. People photograph the number and call, budget for the running costs from day one because they're easy to forget. Fuel, road tax, commercial vehicle insurance, servicing, and if you're working in a city, the clean air zone and parking charges that eat into every job will put the monthly running cost in the profit and loss. For now, the purchase. 8. Step 4. Getting clients. Kit doesn't make money, clients do. And in cleaning, your first clients decide whether you build a business or a hobby. Start with a simple website and a verified local business listing, because cleaner near me is one of the most searched local terms there is. You must be findable. Reviews are your currency. Get every happy client to leave one, because in a trust business, a wall of 5-star reviews outsells any advert. Local search ads for the high-value terms, end of tenancy cleaning, after builders cleaning, because those searchers are ready to book now, not browsing, leaflets in the right streets, and the two that actually build the business, letting agents and property developers. Letting agents are a fire hose of end of tenancy work. Get onto 2 or 3 agents' preferred cleaner lists, and your diary fills itself month after month. And a single developer finishing a block of flats is dozens of after builders cleans in a row. These relationships are worth more than any advert, because they're recurring and they don't shop around every week. Budget for the launch push, website, listing, ads, leaflets, around £1,000 up front, then a monthly marketing spend that tapers as word of mouth and repeat clients take over. And here's how you actually win that first commercial contract, because it feels impossible until you know the move. You don't undercut, you walk the site in person, quote against a written specification so the client can compare you fairly, and you offer a 3-month trial rather than asking them to sign a long contract with a stranger. That trial removes their risk, and if your team turns up and the standard holds, that office almost never leaves. Switching cleaner is a hassle no office manager wants. One landed contract becomes a reference for the next. That's how a cleaning company grows, not with adverts, but with one reliable trial at a time, each one vouching for the last. 9. Startup total and the $3,000 version. Let's total it. The full multi-service company, insurance, all the kit, a wrapped van and a real launch opens for about £12,000. £12,500. Compare that to the rest of the series, a takeaway at over 50,000, a food truck at 35, a dark kitchen at 27. This is a fraction of any of them. You can start for £3,000. That is exactly why it is a trap. And you can go lower. Strip out the van, the pressure washer, and the after builder's kit. Use your own car, do domestic and end of tenancy only, and you're open for about £3,000. That is the version most people start. And that low number is the seduction, because it quietly locks you into being the only cleaner. You saved on the van and paid with your body. Remember that as we run the numbers. 9B, how to price each job, the part everyone gets wrong. Before the profit and loss, let's talk about the number you'll agonize over most. What to charge. Price too high on domestic and the phone never rings. Price too low on the skilled work and you're working for nothing. Here's the real 2026 map. Domestic charge. The client, 18 to 22 pounds an hour, or a fixed weekly price, say 50 to 70 for a standard house. Pay the cleaner 13 to 40. Your margin is thin here, so domestic is about volume and recurrence, not per job profit. It fills the diary and keeps cleaners busy between the good jobs. End of tenancy. Price per job, never per hour. A studio around 160, a 2-bed 220 to 260, a 3-bed 300 to 400. Carpets are a separate add-on, 75 to 175. This is skilled, deadline-driven work to an inspection standard, and clients will pay for the deposit-back guarantee. 40% margin if you price it right. Commercial charge 15 to 25 pounds an hour on contract, or price per visit against a written spec. A small office on a daily contract is often 400 to 800 a month. The margin per hour is lower, but it's recurring and it's stable. You trade a bit of margin for certainty, and that's a trade worth making. Jet washing price per job by the square meter, 3 to 8 pounds a meter, with a minimum call out of 60 to 80 pounds. So a small job is still worth the trip. A typical driveway is 150 to 350. This is your best margin because the machine does the work. So quote confidently and don't undersell it. After builder's price per unit against the finish level. A 1-bed flat 180 to 260. A bigger place 300 to 650. Builder's clean and the final sparkle clean are two different prices. A site full of plaster dust and paint drips is not the same job as a light polish, so quote them separately and never fold it in for free. The golden rule across all 5. Price the domestic by the hour to stay competitive and price everything skilled by the outcome. That single distinction is the difference between a busy business and a profitable one. 10. The trap inside every projection. Utilisation. Before we run the profit and loss, one concept that destroys more cleaning businesses than any other, and it's invisible on a naive spreadsheet: utilisation. Here's the mistake. You pay a cleaner for 40 hours a week and you assume you can bill a client for all 40. You cannot. Between every job, there's travel across town. There are gaps in the diary. There's loading the van, buying supplies, the job that cancels an hour before. In reality, a cleaner is billable maybe 65 to 75% of the hours you pay them for. The rest you pay for and can't charge. So the cleaner you pay for 40 hours only earns you around 28 billable hours. Build your prices and your rota as if it's 40, and your lovely £6 margin quietly turns into a loss. The winners obsess over this. Tight geographic routing, so cleaners aren't driving across the city, back-to-back jobs filling the gaps. Utilisation is the difference between a cleaning business that prints money and one that slowly bleeds. Every number that follows already has it baked in. 11. Step 5. Staffing and the roster. Your staff aren't part of the business. In cleaning, they are the business. The roster is the asset, and it is the hardest part by a mile. On April 2026 wages, the national living wage is £12.71 an hour. And for reliable, trusted cleaners, you'll pay a bit above that, 13 to 14. Because good ones have options and you cannot afford to lose them. On top of the wage, you carry employers' national insurance above the £5,000 threshold and a workplace pension. Every cleaner costs you noticeably more than their headline hourly rate. And the brutal truth of this industry is churn. Cleaning has some of the highest staff turnover of any sector. People leave for £1 more an hour or just stop turning up. A cleaner who no-shows on an office contract or a move-out deadline doesn't just cost you that job, it can cost you the client for good. So the winners treat their cleaners like the asset they are. Fair pay, paid travel time, respect, reliable hours, a proper rota. The businesses that treat cleaners as disposable are the ones permanently firefighting no-shows and permanently losing clients. Your reputation is only ever as good as the person who turned up this morning. Interlude. One day, 5 services. Before the sheet, live one day with a growing company because the rhythm tells you what the numbers can't. 5 a.m., a 2-person team is in an office block before the staff arrive. Desks, kitchens, bathrooms, floors, out by 8, the client never sees them. 9 a.m., another team hits an empty flat for a move-out clean. Oven stripped, lime scale gone, skirting boards inside the windows. 5 hours to letting agent standards so a tenant gets their deposit back. Midday, you're on a driveway with the pressure washer. 10 years of green scrubbed off in 3 hours. The before and after photo already earning you the next 3 neighbors. 2 p.m, a team is in a brand new flat the builders finished yesterday. Plaster dust on every surface, stickers on the appliances, paint on the glass, turning a building site into a showroom for handover. And at 6, when the cleaning's done, you're doing the part that actually grows it, quoting a new office contract, chasing an agent's invoice, and sorting tomorrow's rota so nobody's driving across the city for nothing. 5 services, 1 company, 1 day. Now, the sheet. 12. P&L. Year 1, you are the cleaner. Year 1, you're building the book, and mostly you're the labor. You clean by day and you sell by night. You've got 1 part-time cleaner helping on the bigger jobs. A realistic established month looks like this. Money in about £6,000, regular domestic cleans, a steady flow of end of tenancy jobs from an agent or 2, and jet washing when the weather's good. Now, money out, and notice there's no rent, no fit out loan, none of the fixed weight that sank the food businesses. 1 part-time cleaner, 1,100. The van and its running costs, 550. Insurance, chemicals, equipment replacement, marketing, software, the accountant, phone and parking. Total costs, excluding your own pay, just under 3,000. So here's the honest verdict on year 1, and it's different from every other episode in this series. You don't lose money. Cleaning almost never loses money in year 1 because the startup is tiny and you're doing the work. You take home about £3,000 a month, £36,000 a year. You didn't make a loss, you made yourself a job. But look at what it actually is. That 36 grand is for you cleaning personally 50 to 55 hours a week on your knees, plus doing all the admin and sales on top. Divide it out and you're earning about £14 an hour, barely above what you pay a cleaner. You haven't built a business yet. You've bought yourself a job. And most people stop right here forever. The ones who build something do the one thing that feels counterintuitive. They stop cleaning. 13. P&L. Year 2, you hire, you step back. Year 2 is the pivot, and it's uncomfortable because it means trusting other people with your reputation. You hire 3 cleaners. You clean less and manage more, quoting, quality checking, selling. And critically, you land your first recurring commercial contracts and a relationship with a developer. Money in roughly triples to about 16,000 a month. More domestic, a strong end of tenancy flow, 2 office contracts that pay every month like clockwork, jet washing in season, and after builders work from that developer. Money out, 3 employed cleaners at around 6,900 all in, your own draw of 2,800, employer's costs, a second van, and all the running costs total out about 14,200. Now it's a business, you're paying yourself a wage and the company is making a profit above that wage, about 22,000 a year on top. Total owner benefit, around 56,000. But the real win isn't the money, it's the shape. You move from being the cleaner to being the person who books the cleaners. Every point of margin from 3 cleaners is money you earn while quoting the next contract. The business now works partly without your hands. That is the whole point of the year. 14. P&L. Year 3, the operation. Year 3, you've stopped cleaning almost entirely. You run the business, sales, key accounts, quality, the rota. You've got 7 cleaners and a supervisor who runs the teams day to day. Multiple commercial contracts are the backbone. The developer relationship delivers a steady stream of new build flats. Jet washing runs as a summer crew. 3 vans on the road. Money in, about 38,000 a month. 8,000 domestic, 7,000 end of tenancy, 12,000 of recurring commercial contracts. The engine, 4,000 jet washing and 7,000 of after builders work. Money out, 7 cleaners and a supervisor, your own draw of 3,500, employer's costs, 3 vans, insurance, chemicals, an office or storage unit, software and marketing. Total out about 32,600. Now the numbers are serious. The company makes about £65,000 of profit a year on top of paying you a £42,000 salary. Total owner benefit north of 100,000. And you are not holding a mop. Notice the structure. People, 7 cleaners, the supervisor and your own salary add up to about 65% of everything the business earns. That's the permanent reality of cleaning. It is a people business, which is exactly why utilisation and staff retention decide whether that wage bill bankrupts you or makes you rich. And here's the quiet kicker the other episodes don't have. A cleaning company with recurring contracts and a stable team is a sellable asset. We'll come back to that because it changes what this business actually is. 15, the engine, why recurring revenue changes everything. Look again at that year 3 sheet and notice which line does the heavy lifting. £12,000 a month of recurring commercial contracts. That is the difference between a stressful business and a calm one. One-off work, a move out clean, a driveway is real money, but it's a treadmill. Every month you start from zero and have to win it all again. A contract is the opposite. An office cleaned 5 mornings a week on a 12-month agreement is money that arrives whether you chased it this week or not. It's predictable. You can staff against it and you can plan. 10 good commercial contracts is a business that runs on rails. Same with developers, land, 1 house builder finishing a development, do the after builders cleans well, and you're not quoting job by job, you're on the phone getting the next block's schedule. Recurring beats one-off every single time. So the winners spend year 2 and 3 deliberately shifting the mix, less chasing one-off domestic, more locking in contracts and developer relationships. The one-off work pays the bills today. The recurring work is the business you actually own. 16. The 5 traps that kill cleaning companies. Trap 1, staying the cleaner. The big one. You never hire because nobody cleans as well as you and you can't bear to let go. So you stay solo, capped at a wage until you're back or your patience gives out. You didn't build a business. You built a job you can't sell and can't take a holiday from. Hiring is scary. Not hiring is the actual dead end. Trap 2, racing to the bottom on price. Anyone can start, so there's always someone cheaper. Compete on price for domestic work, and you'll win the worst clients at the worst rates and burn out. The escape is to compete on trust and reliability in the higher value lines. End of tenancy, commercial after builders, where being cheap matters less than turning up and doing it right. Trap 3, ignoring utilization. You price as if every paid hour is billable. It isn't. Travel and gaps eat a third of it. Get this wrong and you're busy, exhausted, and somehow losing money. Route tightly, book back to back, and watch billable hours like a hawk. Trap 4, the cash flow gap. Commercial clients and developers pay on 30 to 60-day terms. Your staff get paid weekly, so you can be profitable on paper and still run out of cash to pay wages on Friday. Keep a buffer, invoice the day the job's done, and chase money hard. The profit isn't real until it's in the bank. Trap 5, staff churn and no-shows. The roster is the business. Treat cleaners as disposable and you'll live in permanent chaos. No-shows, angry clients, cleans you have to redo for free. Pay fairly, respect them, give them stable hours and your reliability. The only thing clients actually buy holds together. 17, how the winners do it. 7 moves. So how do the ones who build real cleaning companies do it? 7 moves. 1, get off the mop as fast as you dare. The day you hire your first cleaner is the day you start owning a business instead of a job. Do it sooner than feels comfortable. 2, sell recurring, not one-off. Chase commercial contracts and regular domestic like your life depends on it. That recurring base is the asset and the calm. 3, own a developer relationship. One builder finishing flats is a pipeline of after builders work that never goes to tender each time. Land one and look after it. 4, systemize quality so it doesn't depend on you. Photo checklists, before and after shots on every end of tenancy and handover, a written spec per job. That's how you protect the standard when you're not there, and you're proof when a client or an agent disputes it. 5, bundle the client. A landlord needs the move out clean, the carpets and the drive jet washed. An office needs the daily clean, the windows, and a deep clean twice a year. Sell the same trusted client 3 services, not 1. 6, price the skilled work per job, never by the hour. End of tenancy, jet washing, after builders. These carry 40 to 50% margins when you price the outcome and get squeezed to nothing when you price by the hour. Charge for the result. And 7, treat your cleaners as the asset they are. Fair pay, paid travel, respect, reliable rotas. Low churn is a superpower in this industry. It's cheaper, calmer, and your clients feel it in the one thing they're paying for, someone good who turns up. 18, the part nobody mentions. You can sell it. Sell it. Here's what makes cleaning quietly one of the smartest businesses in this whole series. At the end, you can sell it. You can't easily sell a job. You can sell a business, a cleaning company with a stable team, and above all, recurring contracts is a genuine saleable asset. Buyers, bigger cleaning groups, facilities management firms, investors, buy them for the contract base, typically at some multiple of annual profit, often more if the contracts are long and the team stays through the sale. That year 3 company netting 60-odd thousand a year on recurring work isn't just an income. It's something you could sell for a meaningful lump sum and walk away from. That is why the whole get off the mop argument matters so much. A solo cleaner has nothing to sell. The business is their own two hands, and when they stop, it's worth zero. A company with contracts and a roster that runs without the owner is worth real money. You're not just building an income, you're building something with an exit. Almost no other business in this series starts for $3,000 and ends with an asset you can sell. 19. The 4-episode comparison. So how does cleaning stack up against everything we've costed? The takeaway: over 50,000 to open, a hard grind, thin margins. The dark kitchen, 27,000, a loss in year 1, big at scale. The food truck, 35,000, a lifestyle that barely clears 9,500 a year from one truck. And cleaning, 12,500 to open, 3,000 if you're brave. No year 1 loss at all, and a year 3 owner benefit north of 100,000, plus a business you can actually sell. The cheapest to start, one of the best to finish if you get off the mop. On the raw numbers, cleaning is the most accessible, high-return business in the series. But, and this is the whole episode, that return only shows up if you make the pivot. Stay solo, and it's the worst of the lot. A minimum wage job with a bad back and no exit. Hire, systemize, sell contracts, and it's arguably the best. Same business, two completely different lives. The mop is a fork in the road. 20. The bottom line, the naked verdict. The naked verdict. A cleaning company is the easiest business in Britain to start, and one of the hardest to think about clearly, because the thing that makes it easy, anyone can pick up a mop, is the exact thing that traps most people in a job forever. Year 1 pays you a wage for hard physical work, about £36,000, and no loss, which already beats most of this series. Year 2, if you hire and step back, becomes a real business at around 56,000 of owner benefit. Year 3, run properly, clears 100,000 and becomes an asset you can sell. But every one of those steps requires the same terrifying move, trusting other people to clean while you build. So, would I do it as a solo cleaner forever, scared to hire? No, you'll earn a wage and wreck your body and own nothing at the end. But as a builder, someone who starts for a few grand, gets off the mop as fast as possible, chases recurring contracts, owns a developer relationship, treats their team like gold, and builds toward a sale. Yes, emphatically, it is the lowest risk, lowest cost, most genuinely accessible route to a 6-figure business and a saleable asset in this entire series. The bucket costs $3,000. The business is free. It's just hidden behind the decision to stop cleaning. This is the naked business. Every cost, every trap, every hour, no sugar, no fluff, just the sheet. If this helped you see the real picture, subscribe. We strip a different business naked every week. See you next time. The naked business, no fluff, just numbers.